Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Alexis Faye Yoga. I'm so very glad that you decided to join me today. I have a fun flow planned for you. So if that sounds good, roll out your mat, hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, and we'll flow right into it. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another week of yoga. Sending that right foot back. Now we are going to begin our practice today by laying flat on our backs on the floor. Extending the legs out long in front of the body. Point the toes off the top of your mat. And then circle your arms up overhead and reach to the back of your mat. Reaching with your fingers and your toes as far as you can. Find some real length, some space in your body. We can close the eyes or allow the vision to be soft. We'll focus on a few really deep breaths here. Breathing in through the nose. Feeling the expansion of the ribs, the expansion of the abdomen, the lift of the chest. And then fully letting the breath go. Allowing the body to soften towards the mat. Before starting fresh with a new breath in. Taking a few sips of air at the top. And then again, fully letting the breath go. One more time, the biggest breath we've taken thus far, fully filling the lungs. A few more sips of air at the top. And an open mouth sigh to let it go. Good. We'll bring our arms to our cactus pose, pressing the elbows and the backs of the hands towards the floor. If you're feeling a little stuck, lift one shoulder. Bring the shoulder blade in together at the spine, and then settle that shoulder back down. That'll lift the chest a little more and might give you enough space to get both elbows to the mat. Now, if you can't get the backs of the hands to the mat as well, that's okay. Just focus on pressing the fingertips down towards the floor. I'll start to walk the bottoms of the feet in towards the body. Notice if your low back is not touching the floor, we'll lift the hips, roll them forward, and set them down. So we're firmly planted. We're grounding down through that mid-back as we start to heel-toe the feet away from each other. And then we'll windshield wiper the knees, dropping both knees over towards one side. Sliding them up through center and then dropping them over to our other side. Moving at whatever pace feels right to you and your body today. You can move nice and quick, or you can really take your time with it. And if you would like to create a little more heat with this practice, you can always lift your feet off the mat and windshield wiper the knees back and forth, finding a little more core engagement with those elevated feet. Now I'll take the knees back up towards the sky and heel toe the feet. tucked in closer, so they're about hips distance apart. And then maybe slide them a little bit closer towards the hips. We'll circle the arms all the way down so they're alongside the body. Now, pressing into the backs of the shoulders and into the bottoms of the feet, we're going to lift the hips off the mat for a bridge pose. Now, not finding the full extension of our bridge pose, maybe 40% or so of our mobility here in our bridge, just to start to warm up the body, pressing into the toes and starting to tuck the hips under and forward. So we're not pinching in the low back, we're not dropping the hips, we're scooping the hips forward and up. Now we'll move our hips about 6 inches or so over towards the right side of the mat and then drop the hips down. You're gonna have a curve towards your body, and that's what we're looking for. As we extend our left leg off the top of our mat, we'll hug our right knee into the chest for a nice big squeeze. And then we'll guide that right knee over the left side of the body towards the left side mat and find a gentle twist. Pressing both shoulder blades towards the floor, we can lengthen our right arm out from the shoulder. The eyes can stay up towards the ceiling, or they can follow that right hand and find a little bit of twisting in our upper spine and our cervical spine as well. Now, if we've turned our head, we'll lift our eyes back to the sky as we untwist our right leg, set the bottom of the right foot down, bring the left foot in, lift the hips. Take a moment to reset the spine. We can wiggle out in our bridge pose. And then we'll move our hips over towards the left side of our mat and set them down again, finding that curve to the body as we lengthen the right leg to the top of the mat and hug the left knee into the chest. We'll slide that left knee over the right side of the body, finding our gentle twist on this side, pressing the shoulder blades towards the floor. And we can keep the eyes up, or the eyes can follow our left hand. Untwisting again, sliding the eyes back up towards the sky, set the left leg down, slide the right foot in, lift the hips. We're going to lift them a little bit higher this time, maybe 50 to 60% of our mobility in our bridge pose, still tucking the hips under so we have a nice long spine. Pressing the shoulder blades into the floor. Taking nice, big, deep breaths. And then we'll drop the hips down again. Noticing here, if our low back is not connected to the floor, we'll lift the hips again, tuck the hips forward, press the low back to the ground, and then drop the hips the rest of the way down. So we are grounded into our mats as we send our feet up towards the sky. Now we can use our hands to hold the legs here, or we can reach the arms to the sky as well and find a wiggling of the legs, wiggling of the arms, wiggle of the toes and the fingers, circling of the wrists and the ankles. Finding some way to move around in this pose. We'll drop the knees to the chest. Wrap the arms around the legs and give the body a nice tight squeeze. Lifting chin to chest so the back of the head is floating from the mat. We can find a little rocking side to side. Let me drop the back of the head back down to the mat. Drop the bottoms of the feet back down to the mat. Press the hands into the floor. Press into the feet. Press into the shoulders. We'll lift the hips up off the mat, finding our bridge pose maybe a little bit higher this time. And if a bind in your bridge pose is within your practice, you can start to walk the hands in together underneath of the hips, curling the shoulders in so the shoulder blades are kissing at the spine. And then maybe lift the hips just a little bit higher. Now, if you would like to add another element here to your bridge pose, either with your bind or without the bind, we can start to find marches in our bridge pose by lifting one leg off the mat, setting it down, and then lifting the other foot off the mat. Now, this can be a very slight shifting of your weight from foot to foot, maybe lifting the foot, maybe not. Or you can find a more exaggerated march by bringing the knee up to the chest, switching out and bringing the other knee up towards the chest. All right, we'll start to melt the hips back down towards the mat, softening the shoulders so they come back to a neutral space, lowering the spine towards the floor. And then we'll hug the knees up to the chest, wrap the arms around the legs, lift the back of the head, bringing chin to chest, and moving back to our ball, curling in towards center. We can find a rocking side to side or a rocking forward and back. From here, we're going to make our way to standing. So we can either rock forward and back until we have the momentum to pop us up on our feet and move to standing from there. Or we can roll onto one side, press the hands into the mat, and make our way to standing. We'll move to our mountain pose. Stacking the heels underneath of the knees, underneath of the hips. We'll pick up the toes, spread them out nice and wide, and set them back down. Tucking the hips forward slightly. As we draw the shoulders up to the ears, we'll press them to the back body and then drop them down the spine. And then gently bring the chin in so the ears are over the shoulders. Finding a nice neutral spine, a nice stacked body. We can close the eyes or allow the vision to be soft. We take a few deep breaths, pressing into the toes. And starting to warm up our balance a little bit, we can find a sway side to side. If you need to open your eyes to do so, please do so. If you can keep your eyes closed and shift your weight side to side, that is wonderful too. Come back through center. With our next in-breath, we'll sweep the arms up towards the sky. With our exhale, we'll move to our cactus pose, drawing the shoulder blades in together so there's a lot of space across the front of our chest, across our collarbones. Inhale to send the arms back up towards the sky. With our next exhale, we'll sweep the arms out towards the side as we hinge and bow forward. Inhale for a halfway lift. Bring the hands to the legs, flattening out the back, reaching forward with the top of the head. And again, with an exhale, we'll hinge and fold forward again. Now taking some time here to wiggle out, to pedal out the legs, to shake out the hips, to find a sway to the upper body. Finding any way to move. Any way to notice how the body is feeling today. To notice what muscles are tight. Or any areas of stiffness or stillness there are in the body. And then with our next in-breath, we'll move back to that halfway lift. Engaging through the core, wrapping the ribs in towards center. Pulling the belly button in and up. And then pressing the mid back towards the sky. With our exhale, we'll hinge and fold forward again, adding more of a bend to the knees. We'll nod the head yes. And we'll shake the head no. We'll find the same soft looseness to the arms. And then starting to tuck the hips under. We'll continue that rolling motion up the spine, making our way to standing. Take your time. The chin will be the very last thing that we lift in our roll. And we can find some shoulder rolls or some shrugs at the top once we've made our way to standing again. And then we'll move to the top of our mat. With an in-breath, sweep the arms up towards the sky. With our exhale, we'll hinge and bow forward. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Plant the hands down. We'll move our weight into our left foot so that we can pick up our right. We'll start to reach our right toes up towards the sky and add more of a bend to the left knee. Slowly extending our right leg long and then dropping our toes down, finding our runner's lunge. Take a full breath in to look forward off the top of your mat. And an even larger breath back out as we drop our right knee down towards the floor, untuck the toes. Inhale to our low lunge, sweep the arms to the sky and then press the hips forward. Take a moment, a few deep breaths, allowing the hips to slowly open. Now we're going to drop our left hand down to our knee, or we can wrap that left hand around to our right hip. Reaching our right hand up towards the sky, and then we'll start to side bend. Reach those right fingertips over towards the left side of the mat. Inhale to take both arms back up towards the sky. We'll press into our front foot, our left foot, to extend the left leg towards straight, pressing the hips long and the fingertips to really reach out in front of the body as we start to hinge and fold forward in our half splits. You can drop the fingertips down to the mat or to your leg, taking a moment to soften the chest a little bit closer towards that extended left leg. Now we'll start to shift further forward. Inhale for our low lunge. With our exhale, we'll press into our left foot. Take the leg towards straight. airplane the arms behind the body, pull the shoulder blades in together. Inhale to shift forward, low lunge, arms go to the sky. And we'll flow forward and back like this between our low lunge and our half splits. Move with your own breath. If the balance is too wonky here, adding the arm element, drop your hands down. You can just shift forward and back with the legs, with the hips. And we'll make our way back to our low lunge. And then we'll drop both hands to the inside of our left foot, moving to our lizard pose. We can heel toe our left foot out towards the left edge of our mat. We can roll the foot open so that our pinky toe is pressed to the mat. The pinky side edge of the foot is down, and the knee is pressed away from the chest. We can also press the left hand into our left knee to help open the chest a little bit further, finding a variation that works with your body today so that you can press the hips open and keep the spine long. Maybe even shining the chest towards the top of your mat. All right, from here we're going to make our way to our side plank. There are 2 variations we can take to get there, depending on the variation of your side plank you want to take. Our first option is to shift the hips back so that you can lift up your left leg, press it long behind the body, set the inside, the arch side of your foot down. Inhale your left arm up, keeping your right knee down on the mat where it has been. Our other option is to start by tucking the right toes under, planting the right hand, looping the big toe with the left hand as we start to turn the chest towards our side mat, picking up the left leg, extending the leg towards straight, letting go of the foot, and finding your side variation. You can always drop your left foot on top of your right, or you can keep your left foot floating. Finding our side plank in whichever variation we would like to take. Keeping the chest open towards the left side of the mat. Another full breath in. An even bigger breath out. And then we'll turn the chest towards the mat, planting the left hand. Center plank. Shift forward. We'll chaturanga to an up dog or a cobra pose, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, down the back. Softening the chest slightly so we can lift through our tabletop or through our plank pose before sending the hips up and back for our down dog. It'll take a little bit of time here in our down dog to wiggle out, to reset, pedaling out the spine, pedaling out the legs or wiggling out the hips. And then we'll sweep our left leg up towards the sky. Draw knee to nose. We'll step our left foot through the hands. Drop it down, full breath in. Even larger breath back out in our runner's lunge. We can find a few forward and back shifting motions. And then we'll move to our standing splits, lifting the right toes off the mat, sending them up to the sky. The hands can come to wrap around our left ankle or stay down on the mat. We'll bend the right knee, Draw knee into the chest and step the right foot down beside the left. With our next inhale, we'll move to a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to reverse swan dive the arms. Reach the arms out to the side, lift the chest, send the arms to the sky. Exhale to our cactus. Inhale to reach the arms back up. Exhale, we'll drop the arms down. Take a moment, reset, wiggle it out. Grab a drink of water or walk away from the top of your mat. And then when you're feeling ready, we'll make our way back to the top. With a big breath in, we'll reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale to hinge and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the right foot down. We'll move to our standing splits. Lift the left. Reach the left toes up. We'll extend that left leg as long as we can as we start to bend into our right knee. And drop the left toes down, runner's lunge, full breath in to look forward. Even larger breath back out. Press the hips to the top of the mat. Drop the left knee down, untuck the toes. Inhale to our low lunge. Reach the arms to the sky, press the hips forward. Take a few moments here, softening the hips. Now we'll drop our right hand either to our right knee, or we'll wrap the right hand around to the left hip. Reaching the left hand up towards the sky, and then we'll find our side stretch. Reaching the left fingers over towards the right side of the mat. With an inhale, we'll circle both arms back up towards the sky. Press into the right foot to extend the right leg towards straight. Send the hips back and the fingertips forward as we hinge. And bow the chest towards our right leg. Moving to our half splits. Again, take a moment, soften the chest towards the right leg. We'll start to shift further forward, sweep the arms to the sky, low lunge. And again, we'll flow with our breath. Inhaling to our half lunge, exhaling to inhaling to our low lunge, exhaling to our half splits. Moving with your body, your breath. We'll make our way to our low lunge again and drop both hands down to the inside of our right foot. Moving to our lizard pose, we can roll onto the pinky edge of the foot, or we can walk that foot way out towards our right side. Shining the chest forward, pressing the hips towards the top of the mat. And we'll move to our side plank on this side with either of those two options. Either keeping the left knee where it is, picking up the right, pressing the right leg back, setting the inside arch of the foot down, and then opening the right arm towards the right side of the mat. Or by tucking our left toes under, planting the left hand, lifting the right leg up off the mat, extending the leg long, reaching the right arm to the sky, shine the chest open. And then we'll circle the chest down towards the mat. Find your center plank. We'll chaturanga to an up dog or a cobra. And then we'll send the hips up and back for our down dog. Take some time, wiggle it out. And we'll sweep our right leg up towards the sky. Bending at the knee, draw knee to nose, shift forward, step the right foot to the top of your mat. Inhale to look forward. Exhale to soften the hips. We'll find a little bit of a forward and back shifting motion until we can pop up into our standing splits, reaching the left toes up towards the sky. Maybe finding a bind around the right ankle, maybe keeping our pointer and middle finger down. Then we'll start to bend the left knee. Bring the knee up to the chest. And set the left foot down beside the right. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to reverse swan dive the arms. Send the hands to the sky. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Take another moment. Wiggle out, reset. And when you're feeling ready, go ahead and move back to the top of your mat. With a big breath in, we'll send the arms up towards the sky. Exhale to our cactus, maybe finding a baby back bend, maybe not. Inhale to send the arms back up. Exhale to hinge and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. We'll plant the hands down, step, hop, or float. Our feet back to our plank pose. Spread the fingertips out nice and wide. Press them into the earth. We'll shift a little further forward. Exhale for chaturanga to an up dog or to a cobra. Engage through the core. Lift the hips. And then send them up and back for your down dog. We'll slide the hands about 6 inches or so closer to the feet, adding more of a bend to the knees so we can really press the spine long. Sending the fingers into the earth, finding expansion across the shoulder blades, the mid-back, the low back to the hips. And then we'll start to shift further forward, bringing the shoulders over the wrists, coming onto the tippy toes so we can bend the knees and hover the knees over the mat. Finding our floating tabletop pose here. We'll continue to breathe deeply into the abdomen to help us find that core engagement. And then we'll take the knees a little further away from each other and drop them down to the mat. Bring the big toes into point or to touch. And we'll curl the hips back towards the heels, finding our wide-legged child's pose. Keeping the arms outstretched towards the top of the mat. If you would like, you can bring the legs closer together for a more traditional child's pose instead. Or you can keep them where they are. Then we're going to start to crawl our fingers over towards the left side of the mat to find a nice side stretch up the right side. Now maybe even pressing back into the right hip so that we can open a little further along our right side, focusing on breathing into our right lung, finding that expansion, that big stretch. And then we'll walk our hands back through center, taking a few moments here to settle the hips back, to come back to a neutral spine. And then we'll walk the hands over towards the right side of our mat, finding the side stretch up the left. Breathing into our left side body, maybe even pressing the left hip back. And then again, we'll walk the hands back out in front of the body. Starting to tuck the hips under. We'll curl the rest of the way up the spine. The chin will be the very last thing we lift. Then we can walk the knees in for our tabletop pose. Walk the hands a little further forward out in front of the shoulders. We'll tuck the toes under. Lift the hips up off the mat. Back to our down dog. And we'll lift our left foot and take a little step forward. And we'll lift our right foot and take another step forward. Moving back and forth. Taking little tiny steps, one foot at a time, walking our feet in towards our hands, back to the top of our mat. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to reverse swan dive for the arms, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale to bring hands to heart center. Taking a moment to press into the toes. Taking a moment to drop the shoulders a little further away from the ears as you lift tall through the top of the head. And taking a moment to feel grateful that you came to your mat today, for taking this time out of your busy day to refocus your energy, to move your body, and to breathe deeply. Thank you so very much for joining me today. It is always such a joy and an honor to get to spend this time with you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Go in love, go in light, go in peace, and go in joy. Thank you.